Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely into creating a network of people, you know, but I think that's just what you have to do to survive, you know. But it's it's great though doing that because I have these artists now that I go back to and come back to me, and we share our other resources with each other, and um, and it's great. It almost feels like a extended family of people who you connect with on a very real level when you're making music, you know. And it's a really positive thing, and it's really powerful. And um, but I think it's always been that way. I don't think it's any different at this day and age. The mediums are different, and the way we connect with each other is different. I have a good amount of close friends who I've met on the internet. You know, I mean, now I'm friends with them in real life, but you know, we met through some form of like, oh, you know that person, and I know that person on Facebook, and I don't know, whatever. But uh, but even back in the '90s, you had the different rap camps that came up together. You know, Jay-Z, DMX, Ja Rule, all these guys knew each other before they were anybody. You know, they're all sort of just it's the communities are small, and so it's cool to still see that the communities are there. In an age where it almost feels like people don't communicate as much and people don't come together as much. That's how I feel about the day and age. Maybe some other people feel like people come together more. I don't know, but and to talk about today versus another time period, I don't I don't think that right now we have anything to bring us together. We have things that should bring us together. We definitely do. But we don't have anything that really is bringing us together. We don't have any movements that are really bringing people together. There's no Million Man March. There's no Civil Rights March. There's no. There should be. There's a lot of gay rights going on. There's a lot of poverty going on. There's a lot of education issues. There's a lot of things that should bring us together. But I guess now it's just not the time for it.
Now, why do you think that is?
I guess it's just not dire enough. I don't know. I don't know what brings people together, you know, but I guess when it gets bad enough, people will finally come together. I know that right now there have been a couple big moments on the internet where people have sort of come together in an internet sort of way to sign petitions and to do things like that, and things have actually happened. It was pretty cool, you know, but still not the same. It's not people really coming together. When people really come together, music comes out of it, you know, and other things. But we're talking about music. Music comes out of it. There's no band right now that people are like, I have to follow them because they're saying what I'm feeling, you know. And there probably are bands saying what people are feeling, but no one seems to be attached to it. It's not like the '90s. It's not like the late '60s, early '70s. I feel like those two times were like when people were really attached to bands because, I don't know, something was going on in society where they needed it. You know, it feels like the '80s right now. It feels like, you know, there's a lot of cool music happening, but it's not for anything really. It's just for having a good time, and like Gangnam Style or whatever that song is. Hey, you know, people have a good time listening to it. It's not for anything. You know, I'm not mad at it. It's just that's where we are right now. I mean, I can't speak for too far in the future. I don't know. It's right now. I feel like we're missing a couple things. I feel like we're missing that band that scares parents. You know, we had those in the '90s. You know, and that band isn't around. It'll come back. It'll happen. That culture is not really around right now. You know, back in the '90s, we had gangster rap, and we had industrial music and stuff. And we had a lot of parents didn't like the music in the '90s. You know, there's a lot of stuff not to like. There's a lot of stuff to love when you were a kid, and I feel like that's not there. You know, there's a lot of good bands out there, but like if you listen to, say, Grizzly Bear or the Fleet Foxes or not Modest Mouse, Mumford & Sons, even though Modest Mouse could be included in this too, Mumford & Sons or Bon Iver or any of those bands, parents aren't going to be mad about you listening to those bands, you know? Or if you even listen to rap right now, if you listen to Drake, you might cuss a little bit or say something. You listen to Kid Cudi, if you listen to even Jay or Kanye right now, nobody's going to be that upset that you're listening to those guys, you know? And I think there's something to that for kids, you know? There's sort of that like rebelliousness that kids need when they listen to music that definitely helps music, I think. I don't know, that's a weird thing to say, but I feel that way. You know, all that stuff, all those things. I like when people come together. I'll add to it too, but I do hope to see more bands come out. Let me not say that, because there are bands out there that are saying things. I hope people gravitate toward the music more. I like when people. What's cool right now is because no one's buying music, you have to be able to play a show. You have to be able to perform, and that's going to be cool. You know, bands are really going to start kicking ass, and they are starting to kick ass, you know, in live shows. And that's really going to bring people together. You go out and you see a band and they like change your life for a night, and you're going to love that band forever. So that's something I'm beginning to see and I want to see more of. And on the side of recorded music, I want to, and I see this happening too, it's getting less digital. You know, I think we got to the peak of digital, and it was like, this is as good as it can get. It can get better, but really, here's the top, and then better's up here, and it doesn't matter. And auto-tune's only going to be as perfect as it's going to be. You know, you can only make things exactly in time, exact enough. You know, like there's no more exact than exact. Until it's like, oh wait, everything's perfect, and this sucks. You know, like there's nothing in here for me now. There's no room for emotion now, you know? So I see it going back the other way with bands that I mentioned, like the Fleet Foxes and Mumford & Sons and Grizzly Bear, and these bands that there's more live performance involved in the records. There's less auto-tune, there's less things like that. And in the production process, in the mixing process, people are using analog gear again. People are going back to tape. People are recording in rooms that make noise, you know, instead of just these dead rooms, you know, because, you know, you record in a dead room, straight to Pro Tools, it's going to sound just like everyone else's record, and that sucks. So I'm starting to see that now too, and I want to see more of it. I want to see more people making unique sounding records. So, I don't know, usually when I start something, I guess I usually start with chords. Just basic like piano chords. I'm not like a track guy, so I don't sit around and just make a bunch of tracks for people to kind of have. I'm more of like I like to write songs with people and things like that, and really build everything around the song. So just a little basic, put a little quantize on her, and drum off there. So now that I've got a drum loop down, I can sort of build my chords off of that. And what's it sound like? So I'll just bring in a piano sound to put on top of that. And then I sort of just fiddle around for a little bit till I find what I like. You know, try to get some sort of emotion out of it. That's kind of cool. Just for now, we've got this little guy going on. So it's sort of a basic beginning of how I would start with somebody. And a lot of times, you know, I'll play you an example of something. Yeah, so a lot of times it'll just be, it's just drum and piano. So, anyway, I feel like if you can write a great song, or at least a good song, to pianos and drums, anything else you do to it is just going to be making it better. So that's kind of how I like to work. Unless in the case of, if there's an artist, obviously, that needs tracks and needs to write to a track, or really wants to write to a track, or needs to hear the whole idea fleshed out, then I'll do that. I've got no problem doing that. But you know, I like to start things off simple. I hope that was enough.